right now so you guys can watch it later. Hello everybody, I am T2 here at Boston Paintball. Kind of been a busy week. We've had a lot of projects we've been working on for the past couple of months, years even, that we are now starting to make you guys aware of. I know the TWSTR Autococker is a project that kind of brought our company to the forefront about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So we felt fitting that with the recent resurgence of autocockers, and even before they kind of popped up, we always had the intention of bringing these things back. People were always asking. We kind of went a little backwards, and we did the LV1s first, which people really enjoyed them. There was a method to the madness why we did those first, but we can get to that in a minute. This is more to kind of address all the questions that have been popping up over the past couple of days. It's been a little overwhelming. We had an Empire all-in weekend here with Travis Lemansky and Saransky and all sorts of crazy guys. Damian Ryan, McCurley, and Callie. Everybody was up here kind of demoing all of Empire's new stuff over the weekend, so we did a lot of promo stuff for that and kind of launched at the same time. So I guess we kind of want to bring everybody up to speed with some of the questions about this project and what it's kind of about and the different levels of TWSTR. I'm sure some of you guys have seen the flyer. If you haven't seen it, we'll kind of go over the different levels of TWSTR in the next couple minutes. But I'm just going to start with a couple of questions that I've kind of pulled off of various groups and forums. I mean, the places I'm mainly looking are the hot spots, right? The guys are going to be talking about it. So the PB Nations, the TWSTR owner group on Facebook, who are guys that mainly own TWSTR LV1s. That's kind of how it started. But there's a lot of guys with vintage cockers in there as well. So got a lot of questions from those guys. A lot of questions that are not paintball related at all. Maybe I'll address some of those too. As well, PB Nation as well. M. Carter Brown and Custom Cockers. Those guys are pretty much the most hardcore guys. This whole project was kind of geared towards. So let's start from the top. So the number one question, which somebody jokingly said the first 30 questions would be the same thing. Where's the picture of the gun? I guess the answer is there's no picture of the gun. There won't be a picture of the gun. The gun is still being worked on. So the plan is extravaganza this year, end of February. That is where we are going to unveil the gun. We will have a couple of models if everything goes to plan. We should have one of every model there. Some anode, some built. We'll have all the different pieces that we're working on there as well. So there's that part of it. We will probably have some CADs or teasers in typical committed paintball fashion. We will probably leak some of that stuff out over the next couple weeks just to kind of keep people a little bit interested and engaged with the project. But we want to keep you guys up to speed, right? This isn't going to be, I'm not knocking anything. I know I get a lot of hateful messages, but this isn't going to be an alien deception. This isn't going to be guns like that. It's a lot of vaporware. A lot of pictures out there, but pictures have been out there for over a year with some of these guns, or years and years, and guns never happen. They never, anybody can make a CAD. We want to show you a gun. You can't shoot a CAD. So that is kind of the idea. My wife is critiquing me, so that's kind of the thing we're going for here. So the next question is, what is the Landfall edition? So the Landfall edition is our Kickstarter, kind of. People that want to invest in the gun, people that want to be a part of the first batch, the first wave, you're going to get something that's special, right? You deserve it, because you're kind of investing and saying, hey, we have faith in you guys to make something cool. You look at, again, I don't want to get hate mail, you look at guns like the Reptile, right? Maybe it didn't come out the way that people imagined it would, but people paid $1,500 for a gun that they never saw, that they kind of got some vague specs on. But, I mean, they're Bob Long guys, and Bob Long makes quality stuff, so no one batted an eye at $1,500 for a gun that was the most extensively milled gun in history. So, I think that our pricing it's fairly competitive. I think for everything you're getting with them, it's a pretty good deal. The Landfall editions, they run the entire gamut of all the TWSTRs we're going to release. So Starting with the F1. F1 twister is going to be a raw body kit. So you're going to get a body, a front block, a back block, an ASA, and an LV1 feed neck from Planet Eclipse. It is 5-piece, so you're going to get the sprocket, the control arm, the lever arm, the actual piece, plus all the screws and hardware. And that's all going to be direct mounted on the body, so the body's going to be milled to accept it. It will come with internals. For F1 all the way up to F5, they all come with internals. So you're going to get a bolt, you're going to get lowers, you're going to get a non-threaded IBG. I know a lot of people had questions. I got a bunch on my list right here. The non-threaded IBG, think Planet Eclipse when they were doing the Rex Styler kits. Very similar to Rex Styler, kind of what ANS did on the Chaos, the Gen X3. So that's kind of what you're looking at there. Instead of being threaded into the body all the way through, there is a screw that goes up where the beaver tail would mount on typically, and that holds the entire unit in place. So instead of actually inserting an Allen wrench in, you instead can a big Allen wrench straight down and taking the cocking rod out. You just use a little guy, and that can adjust the tension of the spring inside. So it's a little bit more convenient. It's a little bit more streamlined. We think it's kind of cool. So we decided to go that way instead. You're going to get a valve, all the internals to make the whole thing run. So that kit is $379, so $380 for that particular kit, and that will come raw. That's more super guys that, say somebody wants to do a CCM kit, you got all the parts already, well, bang, you're all set. Just angle the gun and throw your stuff on and you're ready to rock and roll. So the next jump up will be the F2. F2 is going to include all the same components that the F1 will include. However, it's going to include our supercell frame. So I know Tornado kind of themes, wording with everything. So the supercell frame is a slider frame. Traditional slider frame, so you'll use the same components we use in regular sliders. However, we've taken that particular frame and we're going to knurl parts of that frame. So you'll have a little bit more grip. Think Vanquish. I don't know if you guys have held a Vanquish, but on the back of the Vanquish it's got a little bit of knurling, so it gives you a little bit more grip on the back of the gun. So depending on the grips that you use, you might have 360 degrees of grip around the entire gun. So a little more comfortable, a little more control over your gun. Additionally, we are, got one right here, this isn't the supercell frame, this is just a slider frame, so don't get too excited. So what we're actually going to be doing with this particular frame is we're going to be milling out a section of the frame to direct mount a Planet Eclipse pops on off. I'm sure you guys have seen these on E-Tex and I shouldn't say E-Tex, but Eco 11s and Geos, the exact same guns. So this will actually direct mount right onto the frame. It'll slide right in. We're just going to T-rail, use our proprietary rail right on that. So it's going to be direct mount. It's going to be real sleek, real cool, and look kind of, they don't have to use the rail. They use like a drop forward if you're going to get it secondary. We didn't really like that. We wanted to make something that was really cool, and also something that you guys might want to buy the frame separately, right? So you could buy the supercell frame and put it, say, on an older vintage twister or something new, say you have a Westwood or whatever, and you could toss on one of those as well and build something cool, something different, something unique. Additionally, all of the supercell frames will include internals. So you're going to get a polished sear plate, polished sear, trigger shoe, all the hardware, springs, the whole nine. That's all going to come with it as well. Minus grips. I don't know if we're going to do grips on the F2s or 3s. I don't really, there's a little bit, we're trying to figure out how many we're going to be able to get and cost and types and things like that. So we'll let you guys know after the fact. We might not, I don't know. So the next jump up is going to be the F3. Now the F3 is going to be the exact same thing as the F2. So you're going to get all that stuff, the frame, the whole nine, but it's going to be anode. So that's going to be anode. Every part that's coming with, if it can be anode, minus screws, stuff like that, is all going to be anode. So if you're doing the Landfall editions, you're going to have options, but I'll get to that in a second. The next jump up after the F3 is going to be the F4. A lot of people had questions about the F4. A bunch of questions from pretty much every forum here. So the F4 is everything you get with the F3. So it's anode, you got all the internals, the whole nine, the feed neck, the frame, the whole nine. But you're going to get a pump kit. So we're making a pump kit. It's called the Gale Force kit. We're making it from scratch. It's going to be using some design cues from other stuff that's out there, but maybe just reimagining it and making it a little bit cooler. We'll be using a different type of pump handle, maybe something twisted, ergonomic. Additionally, we're going to make different guide rods. So you'll have one that will actually work on older twisters. So we'll do a pre-2K, we'll do a post one too. So guys that have old twisters or older guns that use that particular thread pattern, we'll have that available for them too. So you can use that on your old guns. We're really just trying to, not force you to buy guns. Maybe we want you to buy guns, obviously, but we obviously celebrate our older twisters, and a lot of you guys celebrate the heritage of our company, and we want you guys to have something, accessories. We want you to make them cool and make them relevant still. So that'll be available after the fact. I don't know pricing on the frame or the pump kit yet, but back to the F4. So that particular kit will come with a pump kit. It's still a kit. That's what a lot of people aren't really getting it. So the F4 is still a kit. All of these guns are kits, so they're not going to come assembled with anything inside them. They're a tinkerer's dream, I guess. You can build it the way you want, use the internals that you want. If you decide you got other stuff you want to use, you can use it too. But that stuff's not going to be built. The F5, which we're going to get to now, that's going to be the highest on the food chain. So the F5 is the best gun we're going to offer. Best is kind of a loose term. It's going to be the biggest package, I guess, of stuff you're going to get. So the F5 is every single thing you get with all the previous guns. Totally anode. The pump kit's going to come with it, but this one, on the other hand, will have full front block, full pneumatics, full internals, and it's all going to be premium. It's not going to be the same components that come with all the previous guns. So we've linked up with a couple of different people. The biggest one, the biggest relationship that we're going to be kind of creating here is between Destructive Customs. They own AKA. Now they've bought their property in the past year or two. AKA makes fantastic stuff. They made it for years and years and years. Company kind of went underground for a while, and Destructive Customs kind of picked them up, and they're bringing it back to the masses. So I have a friend, Mark Davidson. He works with Jared at Destructive Customs. I'm also friends with Gabe Ricard and a bunch of other guys that work there. Great guys. Did Living Legends with him last year, and that's where we kind of got talking about doing all this, and that's kind of where the idea came from. So we'll be using, the plan is to use some of their internals, so we'll be using likely tornado valves, looking into lightning bolts. We'll be using a LPR from them that has never before been seen. It is a brand new LPR. I can't really disclose a whole lot of information on it, but it's very, very cool, and the tolerance of this thing and the flow is phenomenal. It's exactly what we're looking for. Additionally, this particular gun will come with a regulator. The F5 will, and we're going to be using a modified next generation regulator from AK and Destructive Customs. So that's new too. A lot of guys were asking about rams and three-ways. For that stuff, they don't currently have anything. So we're kind of working with them. If we don't get something from them, we will have something that's just as good to put in those guns. We're really only looking to put the best in these twisters. So don't worry, you guys will get something awesome in them regardless. But we'll be reaching out to pretty much every F5 customer in the coming weeks. Kind of bring everybody up to speed, kind of give it that personalized touch, and make sure you guys are happy and understand the whole process and things like that. We don't really want to get, to do this right. I know a lot of guys are asking when they're going to ship and things like that. It's kind of a tight, we want to definitely show everybody the guns and get everybody kind of involved before we start rolling everything out. Obviously, the F1s and the F2s, they're raw. They don't really require a whole lot more work than just making sure everything is, tolerances are correct and things like that. So those will definitely ship out first. No anno needed, so they'll ship first. The F4s and 5s are going to be later. So I'd say a month or a month and a half, maybe a little bit more after that. After you see the F1s and 2s shipping, you'll see the others ship. But we're planning lots of cool stuff to go along with the repackaged with the guns. Additionally, getting to the Landfall packages, a lot of people want to know what it is. So the Landfall package it's just like investing in a Kickstarter, right? So I got a Pebble watch through Kickstarter, and if you do it early, then you get all these cool perks with it. but you're essentially going to get the same product at the end that everybody else is going to get. You just might get, some cool stuff with it or get a little earlier. So, Landfall package, prepaid in full for any of the packages. So, if you get the F1 or F2, it is going to include an ultralight barrel that will come with the gun, a front and a back, plus all the stuff you would get with the F1 and the F2. It also is going to come with a limited edition print. We're going to make a run of renders, and those will be stamped, numbered, and signed. And those will be sent out with the guns as well. Kind of a nice collectible thing you can add with it, maybe frame it, put it up, or something like that. Once you jump up to the F3, 4, and 5, these ones are a little bit cooler with all the stuff you're going to get. So you're going to get a full ultralight kit. It'll be 4-piece. People are asking if we're going to have multiple, how many backs or tips. We're still working that out with how much inventory we have here in terms of ultralight, so it really depends on what we have in stock. At a minimum, you're going to get two backs, 2 tips. At a minimum, it might go to 3 backs and a tip. I'm not really quite sure. We're really not trying to do substitutions right now, and a lot of guys are like, I don't really want the ultralight. Well, you're going to get an ultralight. So, there'll be an option later to maybe, if you want to send us some other stuff to get it done, to match your gun, we might be able to do that, but we're really just trying to get a handle on everything right now. But the biggest thing with the 3s, 4s, and 5s are going to be, you have your choice of ammo. You can ammo it any way you want, within reason. Obviously, we had to put some restrictions. No craziness, no Aurora. Powder coating's cool, but it's just not a process we're looking to do right now. Cerakoting, chrome plating, nickel plating, we're not getting into any of that. So we're using some of the best anno guys in the business. Arc Anodizing is going to be doing the vast majority of these guns. They're phenomenal. I personally use them for my projects. We've done a lot of TWSTR LV1s with them. Matt DeRule, who's a pro player from 187 crew, he plays here. His personal guns get done through them. I assembled them. The tolerances are great. The quality is fantastic. So I feel really confident in those guys in their work, and they're very quick, and communication's excellent. So that speaks volumes for those guys. So that's the direction we're going to go with those. But we're limiting the colors to 2 or 3 colors. We don't really want to go more than that. We can't do like 18 color lifesaver fades and all sorts of stuff that other people are trying to do. It just gets too expensive. It's going to hold things up a little bit too much, so unfortunately we really can't do it. If you want to do something crazy like that, we can probably expedite it and do it different. You can pay a difference and maybe make it a little bit crazier, but for this particular run, the Landfall package, it'll be a 3-color minimum, a 3-color maximum, sorry. Splashes, fades, and acid wash is what we're offering. So you can do a 2-color fade and a 1-color acid wash, whatever you want to do. So a lot of guys are just saying, hey, I want to play Eclipse Bonsai, and that makes it really easy. If you have stuff like that, or Thunderstruck, or acid wash, or a fire wash, or tequila, it's great. Doing them in gloss, and we're doing them in matte finish. So you can choose which one that you want to do. There's no difference in price. We're just going to do it. So Landfall packages will end. Not sure when. It'll probably be soon. It really comes down to our inventory when it comes to the ultralights, and how much ARC can handle in terms of volume for guns. So again, we're not trying to hand out this special thing to everybody. The gun is special, but this Landfall package is really for guys that are committed from the beginning. And we've got a lot of TWSTR LV1 owners and previous vintage TWSTR owners they're all in. I had a guy that put his order in a minute and a half after it went live. I mean, no questions needed. He bought the best package. I think that guys have faith in the stuff we've done in the past, and that we're still working on. And I think that they kind of know what you're getting from us. We're not gonna jerk you around. We stay tight to our time frames, and we're gonna give you a quality product. We're not gonna release it until it's perfect. So it's for 2.5 years we've been kind of talking about it and going back and forth. We've had production delays. We've worked on other projects. Just as a company, Boston Paintball's grown a lot in the past couple of years. We had a tournament series, opening new locations, and we're doing all sorts of stuff. So I think it's time. It's time to do it. And Extravaganza's, a very big stage, probably the biggest stage. You're right next to all the other dealers showing off they're the best of the best stuff going into the new year. So that's really where we want to be. I think we've kind of trying to make a mark, right? So that's I think where you have to release your product. So I hope I kind of explained all the Landfall packages to you guys. Again, I'll try and keep you guys up to date on the Committed Facebook page. We really didn't advertise this anywhere else. We wanted this to kind of be a viral way of marketing. We didn't want to, not saying we don't like to buy ad space on PB Nation. It's been great for us in the past, but we just want to try something different this time. So we just put it in one place, and it was shared 50 times, maybe more. I've been seeing thousands and thousands and thousands of times and shared everywhere. So we've sold quite a few guns. I can tell you that this run of twisters, and this is another question that I've got up on my board here, we're only making 150. That's it. Making 150 guns. It's of this particular run. That's going to be all. So this body style, it's going to be 150, and then we're pretty much moving on to some other stuff. We just really want to give you guys an autococker, and we want to do it right, and we want to keep it limited. We did 150 of the Twister LV1. We're doing 150 of these. I think it's kind of the magic number, right? I mean, you do more than that, it seems a little bit too mainstream. So to do it right, and if you want to give good customer service and kind of focus on individuals and be able to reach out to everybody, it's hard to do when you make 10,000 guns. And if you made 10,000 guns, you're kind of a sellout, right? Maybe. I don't know. I'd like to sell 10,000 guns. That would be awesome. So let me get to a couple of questions. So a couple from the Twister Owners Group. So why don't you have PB Nation badges for Twister owners? It's very expensive. That's why. For the amount of money it would cost to get badges up and maintain them, we could make twisters. We can make cockers. That's how much it's really expensive to run it. But we run our database. If you guys haven't seen the custom database that we run, if you get a Twister LV1 or you got any of our custom guns in the past couple of years, you get a little certificate of authenticity. That certificate has a little QR code. If you scan that QR code, it brings you into a super secret database that only other owners can see of these guns, and that is going to show you every gun that we've made, and it's all numbered, and it shows the original owner of that gun. So you can validate, how rare your gun is. So if you have a pure Twister LV1, you could go in there and say, I have number 25, and you can see Twister 25, here's my name, and it's one of however many we made. So if you have a 1 of 2, you're not trying to validate it anymore by some kid in a PB Nation forum going, yeah, this is a 1 of 5 vicious Geo, and Ollie Lang breathed on it once, so now it's rare. That's not the way to kind of to validate how how rare stuff is. So the database, we were showing it to some of the guys at All In. Lemansky was looking at it, some other guys, and just saying, like, it's surprised that no one's done it this far, and it's just one little perk we want to add on, so you guys can kind of have something cool, show how rare your stuff is. The guys in our Twister Owners Group on Facebook, it's a closed group, mostly just guys with Twisters. You kind of have to be allowed to get in there. We have to make a lot of room for the 150 guys that are about to be buying autocockers, but they're kind of it's a very tight knit group in there. We don't really screw around, but we do some specials in there, like the Heritage Jewels. We did a run of those just for the guys. Questions, answers, technical stuff. I'm in there every day, so anybody that has questions about the guns, we're always in there. So we want to welcome more people into that group, so buy some guns so you can join us. Let's see, what else? E-Blade version. Will there be a Twister, the next-gen Twister drilled for eyes? I have no plans on making an E-Bladed version of the gun at this time. So if you can find brand new E-Blades, that's tough. That's kind of the holy grail, right? Find a pile of E-Blades somewhere sitting under a workbench somewhere in some corner of the world. So I'm not doing anything with E-Blades. So if somebody does one, cool. I'd like to see a picture or a video of it. We'll share it on Committed. We'll be happy to do that. So what else we got? M. Carter Brown, user Shadow772. Where did the other letters go? I think he's talking about the Twister logo. Yeah, we're just trying to make it cool and edgy and new, I guess. The Twister brand is going to be, kind of the highest level of our custom guns. So, we do Some graphic ammo stuff. We've done Reapers. We've done some, one-off stuff. We did that Lux behind me, the Mark II Luxes, things like that. But the Twister is really our highest. That's your tuned, milled, most prestigious. Maybe we get into express guns again, do some custom colors and things down the road. But really no plans of that right this second. But you want to brand it, you want to make it cool, you want to make a logo, right? There's a lot of words, there's a lot of letters in it, so it's trying to make something that we can put on a sticker and make it look neat. So Twister is that's the new. Is it over here? It's over this shoulder. Okay, Twister. Okay, let's see. Username Maggot on M. Carter Brown said, "How is it so cheap? Seriously, this seems inexpensive for the amount of work going into it, plus free barrels, etc." Yep, you're right. It is probably too cheap. We should charge everybody more money immediately. Thanks for the tip. No. We just really wanted to make it attainable for people. We looked at other kits that were out there and really wanted to be competitive. That's why we really have that $380 one. A lot of guys just want to be tinkerers. They want to build it themselves and do their thing, and that's cool. And some guys want to buy the full-tuned, highest model. The one thing with the F5 that I actually forgot, it's one of the most important things. So the F5s are going to be built by Lappy. He was the principal gun tech back in the heyday of Twisters. So he built all of the original ones, and he will be building every one of these. Additionally, most of the hardware parts, polished internals, all of that is going to be coming out of something we call the Green Monster here in Boston, but it is it's a giant tool chest we have out back. And it still contains most of the parts we use from the Twisters that were just never put into guns. So hand polished, stainless steel rammers, the sears again, sear plates, all of that will be put into the guns by Lappy and hand tuned and tested, and they'll all be sent out to you guys and tested by him. So you're really going to get the father of the Twisters going to be working on these ones again. It's we don't have the army of techs we had back then. We had a sweatshop building guns back in the day, a little bit before my time, but it's it's something we really thought would be a nice touch to have somebody that was back, that was building them back then be a part of this one. So we thought it was kind of important that we made that happen. Let's see what else I got. I'm gonna go over to Facebook now. Let's see what we have on the committed paintball page. Bear with me a second. I probably should have had this up. Okay. Is the only version that will come with pneumatics the F5? Yes, that is the only version that is coming with pneumatics. Will be the F5. Are HPRs included? Yes, on the F5, HPRs are included. They will be anoded as well to match the gun if you want. If not, we can keep them whatever color you want. Can we send stuff in for anodizing along with the marker? Like I said earlier, we're going to try to allow you guys to do that. We'll do our best within reason. Obviously, our anode prices are set for the amount of pieces we're sending. So if you're going to send a 7-piece barrel kit, obviously it's going to be a little bit more money to do that. So we'll try our best. We obviously want people to be happy. So we'll do what we can. When is the rendering of the marker, slider frame, and pump kit coming out? Soon. I'm going to try and get it as soon as we can. Threadless IVGs, preset holes, we already went into that. Arthur. Hi, Arthur. Chicago. Know Arthur very well. Is there a limit on numbers for the F5 or Landfall editions? There will be no limits on the number of guns we're going to do except for the total amount we're building. So 150 is the total amount. That's what we're going to build. So it can be comprised of a lot of F5s, mostly F1s. Who knows? It's just going to cap out at a certain amount. But the Landfall editions will cut off eventually. So in the database, it will show that you got a Landfall edition. So it will show you have something that's a little bit, special as opposed to everything else. What bore sizes and tip lengths are available with the die kit for the Landfall edition, and are there options? Again, it's really up to what we have in inventory. please don't send me a million emails, because we're going to try and make it fair for everybody. But again, it's a little too early to figure out what that's going to be. Are we able to add additional parts for match anno? Yes, we're going to try and do that. Case-by-case basis again. Is the F5 the only mech twister is ready to shoot out of the box? Yes. It is the only one that's going to be able to shoot right out of the box. Everything else will require assembly. And IVG, running over that. Luke, what are the blanks or extrusions that these will be milled onto? That's a very, very good question. These are bodies, actually, I don't really even know the answer technically. So these are bodies provided to us by Lapco. So Lapco did the original twisters, original twister right here. Lapco did the original twisters for us. They are a phenomenal machine shop. They are very, very amazing with the things that they can do. So the differences here, I mean, you're looking at, this is a full body clamshell. The differences with our new one, we are going to be P-blocked, so this is actually a full block. The P-block is going to be looking like, this is not the new twister, this is an older one still. So P-block body, for those of you that aren't familiar, it actually recesses into the body. So this is an Ultra Mini actually. It recesses into the body, so it makes it a very, very small, small package. So that's pretty much what you're looking at for the new one. We're going to be running that route. The bodies are kind of based off the stock that they have there. So it'll be milled out of a blank, and the phoenix are going to be milled down and recessed, custom to the Planet Eclipse phoenix. But other than that, nothing too special is going on with the body. We're not doing direct mounted ASAs or anything like that. It's still going to be kind of old school. It's going to be full body in the front still. It's not going to be minied. We want you to have a full-length ASA. We feel that it's a little more comfortable with that reach, so we're going to go that route instead of making it mini. Let's face it, when you go mini, it kind of looks a little gaff to have the ASA into the bottom of the front block. So we really didn't want to go that way. We kind of wanted to make it a nice, kind of long and sexy gun, and just go in that direction instead. I'll go through a few more here. When will we see the renders? I'm 95% sure. I want a new twister alongside my 99. Glad you have a 99 still. I'm sure it'll be different enough to put the money down. So the milling pattern will be different. We are not going to be copying any of the old ones. We do not want to devalue the twisters that are already out there. The guys that own twisters already, the value of them is holding very well. I mean, it's one of the most desirable guns out there in terms of autocockers. It's right up there with the Westwoods. Some of the other old school stuff. We don't want to devalue that. So these bodies are going to be based on post 2K bodies. The other ones are mostly pre 2K. So it's a little bit bigger air volume chamber in the front. The milling pattern itself, we're looking to take some elements from the Twister LV1, a little bit more 3D contoured. We're looking to kind of put the new one on a diet a little bit more than the old one, if you can believe it. So if you look at the older style ones, you've got a lot of meat up here, a lot of this. It's very, very clunky and big. We're going to try and take some of that down as well. Sight rails, I know a lot of guys take these things down. Don't be surprised if you don't see a sight rail in the new one. No one really uses sight rails, right? So not really probably a reason to keep it. Again, we're working on the design. It's evolving still. You know, we're expecting stuff the next week or two. Maybe get some hard stuff here to look at and tweak. I mean, we look at parts of the body, and then the next day, you know, lay in bed and I go, hey, maybe we should do this. You know, maybe we should take out this section for other components. So it's always evolving and changing. We're trying to make something that's different enough and it's more modern that people, I think, will really like and create a new icon, right? A new iconic gun to kind of keep this line and keep it running. It's big shoes to fill. I mean, the Twister it's a legendary gun. It's you know, I as a kid growing up in North Boston in the suburbs and going to the shop when I was a kid and drooling over these things, it's amazing that I get to be part of bringing this brand back. And trying to do it justice is tough. You lose a little bit of sleep at night just worrying about doing it right. So I know it's taken a while to get there, but we're going to make sure we do it right for you guys. So, what else do we have in here? Talks of AK pneumatics. I think we already went over that. Supercell. I think I've already addressed it, but the Supercell and the Gale Force pump kit will be available for sale separately. You will be able to buy that those components, and they are compatible with any old school autococker and non-resurrection, so they'll work with everything. Valve spring cocking rod combo, don't know. Working on it. How long can we expect the pre-order to last? So, after the Landfall ends, likely we will not have the F3, 4, and 5 available for pre-order any longer until the production guns are ready. The F1s and 2s will probably continue to sell, and there's a reason behind it. So, once the pre-orders end and the Landfall editions are over, we're going to pull a bunch of bodies, and we're going to be doing old school vintage anno schemes on those bodies. So we're going to choose them based on old twisters. So we've got, it's kind of cool, maybe I'll show you guys this stuff. So we've got a book. This is a catalog basically of all of our old anno schemes from the original twisters way back. And this is what we're going to be basing the new colors off of, the direct schemes that were available way back, 15 plus years ago. That's what we're going to basically be putting on these guns. Some of those more iconic and recognizable ones. So that's what's going to be on the 3, 4s, and 5s. Out of the box, you'll be able to buy it done. The only time you're going to be able to do a pick an anno out of the box is Landfall. So if you haven't bought a Landfall already and you miss out on it, you're going to have to buy an F1 or an F2 and do it yourself. That's pretty much the way it's going to work. So that should give you some incentive. Maybe, right? Let's see. What else we got? Are the anno choices totally custom? I think I went over that, but just to kind of clarify, the anno choices are totally custom. You can do it any way that you want, with a few limitations. Obviously, themed guns, if you want to do something crazy with vinyl cutting and masking and stuff like that, that's getting a little bit beyond what we're doing with the package. But again, 3 colors in a combo. You can do acid washes, fades, splashes. A lot of guys are saying they don't really like the splash on the twister because it takes away a little bit of the milling lines. I don't know. I think that it does look good regardless. You can see the lines pretty well in the sunlight. It kind of cuts it a little bit and looks good. It does get a little busy. I like the matte finishes on the twisters myself. I think it actually it looks the best, personally. But we're all about custom, so do what you want. Whatever makes you happy is what you should do. Let's see. Brent says, I started 5 minutes late, so he's never going to buy another one of my products. I'm sorry, Brent. You can ask my wife. I'm never on time for anything. So, pneumatics. Are we going to anno the pneumatics? I do not believe we're going to anno the pneumatics. We're probably going to keep them a basic black, just for tolerance reasons. I just don't think that we want to get into it. We'll have to explore it a little bit. I don't think I want to get into that though. It adds a lot more pieces again, and it's going to might change the pricing structure a little bit. So it might be something we offer kind of above and beyond. But anybody that kind of knows, about annoing it. I trust ARC. ARC is a fantastic company. When it comes to regulators, LPRs, and things like that, if it's been annoed once, you got to strip it. If we can get it raw, then obviously we're going to have to anno it anyways, then why wouldn't we? I guess it really depends on how we get those parts. That's probably a better answer for you. So if they come pre-annoed already, then we're probably not going to re-anno them. If we can get those parts raw, like the LPR, HPR, then there's no reason why we wouldn't match the anno to what you want. So that's probably the better answer for you on that one. See if we have anything else on committed. And wow, we got a bunch more. Okay, Tim Kerrigan, hi in California. I know you just moved out there. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Tim, for you guys that don't know, he owns the Bonsai Twister Heritage Splash, and he has the Captain America Weapon 1 Twister LV1. Two absolutely gorgeous guns. Any plans for a case or anything? Potentially. Potentially. We'll see. We're working with some people right now, so potentially might see a case. Any hints as to full mill clamshell ultralight convertible? Well, it's going to be a combo of everything, except the convertible. I don't think we're going to get into that. Just structurally, I don't think we want to slot mill the top of the gun, but it's something we looked at. It's something we looked at. I just think it takes away from the milling lines too much, and there's a lot of people doing that stuff secondhand. If you want to get something done convertible milled, you could always buy an F1 or an F2 and get it raw and just get it done. There's great guys out there. I mean, Adam and Vital, Cameron Gunlock, TJD. It's great. All those guys can probably do that for you for relatively short money. It's just going to add more machine time, and it's going to have to bring the cost of the gun up. We're really trying to make it attainable for people, so we really didn't want to get into that too much. So I'm going to pop over to Custom Cockers and see if they got anything going on. Nothing. Right. It looks like I might be off. I hope I covered everything. I think that's it. I hope I covered everything for you guys. I mean, I went through my emails today. I'm sorry we're a little slow kind of getting back to people, but it's we got a business here. We have Martin Luther King Day today, and we had kids off school and crazy weekend. So I was a little sluggish getting back to people. Sorry, but hopefully I answered most of your questions in this. This is going to be saved. You'll be able to watch this later and kind of reference to it. If you guys have any other questions at all. I'm just trying to think if I have anything else I could show you. I don't. Things I can't show you. Okay, so yeah, so that's all. So guys, thank you for joining me. Hopefully I was informative and not too boring. If you have any other questions, just shoot us a message at committedpaintball@gmail.com. If you want to purchase a twister, it's probably a good thing to cover, right? Committedpaintball.com in the twister section. It's also going to be on the main page starting tomorrow. And Landfall packages, get it while you can. Can't really give you a firm date on when that will go up or down. So, guys, thank you for joining us. And next time we do one of these, maybe I'll have some stuff to show you gun-wise. Okay? Thanks, guys. Have a great night.